Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have a global employment dynamic, including the flagship project employment initiative. Dorale Multipurpose begins transshipment activities. For the international scene, World Health Organization monitors a new variant, named Mu. Welcome to our newsroom. Fruitful talks between President Gelle and Sudanese Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Gelle, had a telephone conversation with the Sudanese Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok early yesterday evening. During this exchange, the two leaders discussed together the bilateral relations as well as the ways and means to promote and develop them further. The meeting served above all as an opportunity to discuss the main issue on the agenda of the regional organization IGAD. In this particular aspect of the discussion, the exchanges focused mainly on the mechanism to be further understood with a view to greater subscriptions and compliance of the country of the sub-region with the key objectives of achieving lasting stability, systematic recourses to dialogue in the resolution of political dispute, and the move toward efficient economic integration in this part of the world. The strategic nature of these talks, which are an undeniable guarantee of an exchange of expertise, should be emphasized for the Sudanese Prime Minister in the current context in which he holds the rotating presidency of IGAD. The two leaders also took advantage of their exchanges to address together several other issues of the continental and international scope. It should be recalled that the head of state had a similar meeting yesterday by telephone with the Ethiopian Prime Minister. The Minister of Labor in charge of formalization and social protection, Osman Ibrahim Roble, made an important statement regarding employment dynamics. He said, "You will give me the honor and pleasure to send you in this particular moment of social re-entry now anchored in the traditions in our country, our best greetings and our wishes of success to all workers and all our social partners." This occasion is also an opportunity to underline, through the Ministry of Labor in charge of formalization and social protection, the commitment of Djiboutian to promote social justice through decent work and through to the work of His Excellency the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Gelle. I can recall with the ease that in Djibouti, the new social year comes this year in a context still characterized by the persistence of the pandemic of COVID-19, which has resulted since the beginning of this health crisis, the slowdown of employment activities. However, if the pandemic is a source of difficulty, it is also a real opportunity to rethink our post-crisis social model, for we have been able to act by the grace of the Most High and by opting for a social policy of the most relevant initiated by His Excellency the President of the Republic. By opting for a public policy based on Build Back Better approaches, we have understood that the status quo is not an horizon, and we have chosen to act. This choice has brought about change and hope for renewal. The challenge of unemployment has been met and various employment initiatives have been undertaken. The Minister of Labor in charge of formalization and social protection, Osman Ibrahim Roble, also said the job fair was the crucial step and allowed it to establish direct contact between recruiters and young people seeking employment. The fair and the forum were conducted currently from 17 to 20 February 2021 and were sponsored by the President of the Republic. The job fair was the crucial step and allowed it to establish direct contact between recruiters and young people seeking employment. Also, it brought together 78 private companies and more than 9,000 young and not 9,000 young and not so young people looking for these platforms that we have accompanied for months has given encouraging result with 3,317 recruitment made on the 5,000 expected jobs. With regard to the regional employment dynamics, we can mention the direct hiring through competitions of 15 young girls and boys and the enrollment of 100 other young people from the regions in the professional insertion mechanisms. The firm will to pursue the dynamics launch and to go very quickly toward other initiatives inscribed in our fundamental documents, more precisely the setting up of a national employment pact, the backbone of our PNA, and we allowed us to achieve the Decent Work Countries program in our country. The employment dynamics is different and it is growing more and more. A better governance of labor as well as a better socioeconomic development requires a proactive and partnership-based employment policy. Tripartite social dialogue is still a great asset that we must renew and adapt to these new challenges. Let us work together again this year, sharing the firm will to invest and serve social justice through employment. I wish you all a good social season. The Secretary of State for Sports, His Excellency Hassan Mohamed Kamil, participated yesterday mornings in Paris at the headquarters of the French Football Federation. It's the signing ceremony of a tripartite agreement between representatives of the FIFA and the French Football Federation and the Djiboutian Football Federation. President Suleiman Hassan and technical directors Yann Danielou took part at this event. The objective is to allow the professionalization of the young organizations of the organization and training of coaches and referees within the beneficiaries federations that has requested, in this case, the Djiboutian Football Federation. The agreement foresees to provide the Djiboutian Football Federation with the qualified professionals who have proven themselves in a soccer association with a high level of organization. This sharing of skills will take place within the framework of the technical support program set up through the collaboration of FIFA and French Football Federation. This program has met the demand of a number of African federations that have identified and communicated their needs and interests in terms of training and support, particularly in the technical file. The Dorale multipurpose port, known by its acronym DMP, has just added a string to its bow, that of transshipment. Yesterday in the early evening, the DMP saw the arrival of the Prime Roads behemoth of the MOL line loading 515 601 vehicles to Alexandria, Egypt. This batch of Suzuki cars was the second transshipment batch loaded on another ship, a first batch that left on the ship Frontiers 8 is bound for Jordan, and the MV Figaro and Echo line that underloaded 155 vehicles bound for Ethiopia, a transshipment job that was done simultaneously today. The activity of transshipment which deals with global flows is governed by international trade, so the multipurpose port of Djibouti has decided in this promising prospects a new strategy of internationalization. It is within the framework that the DMP port has, from the beginning of this year 2021, started important discussions with the international ship owners, especially in the business of vehicles, and it is in January 2021 that the MOL line has sent its first ship as a status in the economic architecture, that is the DMP. In the framework of the fight against the illicit traffic of contraband goods of all kinds, the police officers of Ali Sabih detachment, in close collaboration with the Ali Sabih Custom Brigade and the Bias military, intercepted a quantity of bag of contraband cat. The merchandise seized on these occasions consisted of 13 parcels of cat, of 2,000 kilo of cat. The national police, in collaboration with the customs officer, proceeded to the destruction of this good in the presence of the head of the Ali Sabih Custom Brigade, Mr. Muhammad Mumin Hassan. The national police is continuing its effort to put an end to the activity of these smugglers who aim to destroy the country's economy. As part of the qualification for the 2022 World Cup in Doha, the Djibouti Sharks are flying to Algeria, where they will play on September 2 against the Fennec of Algeria and September 6 against Niger. For a week, the Red Sea Sharks are undergoing intensive trainings under the leadership of their coach Julien Met. The meeting Algeria-Djibouti for the first days of Group A of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers will take place on September 2 at 19 at the stadium of Shahid Mustafa Shahir Bilid in Algeria just before their departure for the airport. The acting president of the federation, Mr. Mohamed Yassin, was keen to encourage the player and member of the technical staff. For the international scene, COVID-19, World Health Organization is monitoring a new variant named Mu. The World Health Organization is monitoring a new variant of the coronavirus named Mu, which was first identified in Colombia in January. It said on Tuesday night, August 31 to Wednesday, September 1, the variant B126, according to scientific nomenclature, has so far been classified as a variant to watch, said the World Health Organization in its weekly epidemiological bulletins on the evolution of the pandemic. The WHO says the variant has a mutation that could indicate a risk of immune escape resistance to vaccines, and stressed that further studies are needed to better understand its characteristics. The emergency in late 2020 of a variant that posed an increased risk to global public health led WHO to characterize variant to monitor and variant of concern in order to prioritize global surveillance and research activity. And to close up this edition, curfew in New Orleans deprived of electricity after Hurricane Ida. New Orleans was subjected to a curfew Tuesday, August 31, almost 2 days after Hurricane Ida hit the coast of Louisiana, exactly 16 years after Katrina, which has killed more than 1,800 people. 4 deaths have been confirmed, and rescuers have begun searching for people cut off by the giant storm. The receding waters are beginning to reveal the extent of the damages along the U.S. Gulf Coast. More than 1 million homes are still without power, as are many businesses and emergency services of the 11 hospitals that had to close because of the damages and lack of electricity in Louisiana. 3 could possibly regain powers within 3 days. President Joe Biden has declared a major disasters for Louisiana and Mississippi, allowing the state to access federal aid. Ida, now a tropical depression, is moving northeast, threatening the Tennessee and Ohio valleys. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.